So, welcome back to session. This is, I believe, 19 of Heralds of Chaos. When last we left off, our party decided to delve into the wildlands and came across one of the clans, which, if I were a better prepared DM, I'd have the name up already.
No worries.
So our party decided to delve into the wildlands and came across a small group of the Masjil, which is one of the clans here in the wildlands, and came across the last few surviving members of that clan, who basically informed the party that there was a big giant beast that pretty much destroyed what they called home. So after Drexel had informed them that it would probably be a better idea to make their new camp towards Andover, the party then made their way towards that camp, crossing several other clan territories at the same time, finding out the mysteries behind the beast and determining that it was an atropol that caused this whole issue. The party then made their way over to the Sunclaw clan, which is where Drugskull was from, and forged a sort of acquaintanceship type of thing with the tribe leader. And basically, they would align themselves with the Heralds of Chaos in exchange for removing the Atropol from existence. So the party then decided to camp out for the night with the Sunclaws with the intention of not following them the next morning, if I recall correctly. And that is where we are going to pick up. It is dawn. The Sunclaw clan members around you are all starting to rise and make just enough noise to get you guys up, as they are now packing their camp and getting ready to move towards Andover.
Have we actually decided on what to do about this thing?
Well, not really. Drog wanted to kind of keep away from it and try to unite the clans, but of course, the best way to unite the clans is getting rid of the problem at hand, so killing that thing can be the best thing to do, but he's terrified of getting into a conference with it, but at the same time, doesn't seem like there's anything else we can do.
Fuck.
Except die trying to kill it.
Or we could try studying it, see if we're up to the task, and if we're not, then go find some other things to take care of it with. Perhaps finding a weapon that can seal its fate. I don't know.
The main problem I have is that drawing more and more people into this is inevitably just going to get more people killed or give more people a chance to betray us or vice versa. It doesn't matter. It's just, this seems like our conflict.
Yeah, the more gaining allies things is more people to help us in minor situations so that we are not stuck in some minor scuffle when we're trying to deal with
Asshole.
Vecna. Yeah.
Very well said, Sora.
You guys a dick.
There was no sarcasm there. That was very well said.
Selena will sort of poke her head up. Yeah, I want that bastard dead. He killed me.
So, what does everyone think we should do going forward in terms of short term?
Short term. We really should just figure out why Vox Machina's permanent solution wasn't permanent.
Well, people with sharp minds like I'm sure Vecna has find a way to make things not permanent.
Well, that's the thing. Quite literally, the bonds that they forged were not able to be even stopped by every single god. Vecna is aspiring to be a single god. He does not have the power nor the ability to conjure a power more than every single god.
I mean, that's what you think, but the gods themselves are quite limited here on this plane, or at least they have been limited. So it is not out of the picture to assume that a human here, or a person, whatever Vecna was or is now, could gather more power than the gods could assemble here on their own.
Well, if we are going to prep for this thing, I'm going to need diamonds to revive you, in case something like that ever does happen. Because I do not have many supplies when we came out here.
Perhaps we could just get a bird's eye view on the Atropole.
My personal thing, I think we should try finding the vestiges that Vox Machina tried to find. I know that they didn't find all of them. Perhaps we can try finding some of the ones they didn't find.
That could be a plan.
Artifacts of incredible power. If we could get our hands on those, maybe we can actually put a dent in Vecna.
Wait a second. Didn't Vecna have you all originally looking for artifacts?
Yeah.
Smaller artifacts, I don't believe they were vestiges, though.
I mean, they were powerful enough to help bring him back.
He does get a point.
Well, the vestiges, moreover, were items that could gain awakened power. I didn't sense that kind of power off of them. Did any of you?
I never really sensed much of anything from the objects.
Same.
Well, let's figure out what all he has that we were supposed to get from him. We needed from that old warlock dude, his focus, I guess. What?
It was his focus. There was a
The
book
book.
and Drog Skull's axe.
I don't know if we out of character. I don't know if we know that.
That
Out of character, no.
We don't know that.
I mean, out of character, y'all knew, but in character, no.
and some other thing that was supposed to
So
be.
we only know the two. So I don't. Out of character, we still have that book, don't we? Selena's supposed to be translating it for us.
Yeah, the book that Selena actually finished translating was something that she had explained was essentially Shakespearean Draconic.
Oh boy.
No,
I don't speak that.
The only one who does.
No fear, Shakespeare. We just need a translation real quick.
What?
What, you egg? He stabs him.
But yeah, no, it was essentially Shakespearean Draconic, an older version of the same language that she managed to somewhat get translated into more modern language, but she died before she could finish it, and after her death, if I recall correctly, the book ended up in the possession of Era.
Yeah, and I had a vision of Era giving the book to Vecna. And because Era isn't here, we can't fucking confirm that didn't happen.
Yeah.
If no one has
So
any other options.
we have no information on those artifacts. We don't have any information on the other vestiges. I say a really good place to start would be to research what we can about anyone who has any idea about Vox Machina besides Mesmer. Because maybe they can help us figure some shit out.
We could also just try to figure out a solution of our own. Piggybacking off of Vox Machina obviously is a good idea, but searching for powerful objects and things of the nature could certainly also help us.
I'm not saying we shouldn't go off on our own and figure out our own things. I'm just saying starting with Vox Machina would be the best because they're the ones that sealed away Vecna to begin with.
Yes, and I meant that was a good idea, and that we should follow through with that, but also perhaps be seeking out other sources along the way.
But for now, let's go ahead and finish our deal with this place first. Go ahead and see what we can do about that beast, and if we can't, go about our business with the other tribes and see if they want to consider a merger to deal with an even bigger threat.
Fine. I really don't like this place.
I don't think anyone here does.
Except for maybe Jog Skull.
The road looks pretty.
We don't have
There is no road.
There is a very clear path right here.
On the map.
I couldn't find a better map.
I could play the video for you where she distinctly says the only map she could find was one with a road.
I mean, I do remember that, but irrelevant.
I go and I feed the horses because they haven't been fed yet. And I feed fucking Sora's
Fuck, that plant is back in the hotel with the fucking Jerk Skull's wife that we forgot to bring, but
No, it's you bring that shit. You saying that you
I
didn't
didn't
bring
think
it with
we
you?
would be here we would be here for multiple days.
That shrub's gonna.
The shrub is gonna fucking die.
Should have given it to me.
You have the chewingo. Fuck off.
Instead, I had to go to a random plant store and get a bubble lily.
You're not even fucking like doing anything with the bubble lily. You just have it for your chewingo.
I have it for the chewinga and also to find the really rare bug that's supposed to be attracted to.
Don't you have like a claymore mushroom as well?
He bought a bunch of
Yes.
stupid ass flowers that he probably won't do anything with.
You know
You
what?
have a stupid ass shrub you don't even care about, and your rat Remy that you also don't
Remy
care
was
about.
going to get us into the mine before he was unjustly killed. I would have you know.
Shouldn't have had him get fireball.
Remy was fine until you opened your big mouth, and then Remy died. And then I had to grieve.
Point in Sora's favor. Animals small enough like that can be tacked on as part of their inventory, and that would mean that Tegan, you're saying Star specifically went after an item in Sora's inventory, and that's a little bit fucked up.
Items not being worn or carried are set on fire.
And it's carried in his pack.
No, it exists in his pack. Are
It's
you saying?
being carried,
Are you
yes.
saying? Are you saying that our? Okay, we're off top.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just saying point in favor of Sora. That's a little fucked up, but anyway. Yeah, we really should just. It really does fucking suck not having Drog here because he's literally the cornerstone of this fucking adventure.
I'm sorry, guys. I waited as long as I could.
I'll go to one of the waking members of the Sun Dudes and ask them what they think we should do, considering how we should merge the clans together if we're going to even attempt that. Since I have not perfect knowledge, but a lot of knowledge on them. I have a lot of knowledge on them. I would already know, damn it.
You have
Roll
more
on
of an
that one.
idea. You have more of an idea of like basic temperament, as well as basically what they are. That's about the bulk of what.
I look for one of the more roughered up looking members. Like one with actual scarring and stuff. One that looks like it has more experience in like gang fights or clan fights. And try to approach that one.
Alright. So you approached the quite a bit older than most of the other dragonborns around you. Obviously, probably has some tie to the tribe leader whose name currently escapes me. Um, but he'll be doing his best to help pack up.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt your packing. I know you're about to head out, but I wanted to ask your opinion on some things because we're trying to figure out how to help everyone with these clans, including this little monster problem everyone's having. If I, like, from your point of perspective, what would you think would be the best way to go about, I wouldn't say uniting the clans, but more getting everyone to see a singular.
You like to stack the cards against you, don't you? Well, I will tell you, you already probably will gain the favor of the Mage Jill if you deal with this monster problem that I assumed that Twiceborn had told you, but apparently not, since you're asking me. The Circle of Druids, the Terebists, they will be unlikely to join you unless you have one amongst their group or one that can be tied to their group.
I just tell them that nature's gonna get completely destroyed if they don't help. That's easy.
That could be another way as well. The Empyreans, just offer them protection and they should be willing to join you. They certainly join any group that offers them protection. The Silver Cloud, well, I don't think many of them would be exactly willing to go back to the more civilized world, given the fact that they ran away from it, and no one has heard from the Prusniak in a while.
I'm not asking them to join civilized society. I'm more asking if they would unite with all of you in just for now, we'll say a fight. That's something all of you seem very, very equipped for.
And that you are, right? Well, maybe. You'd have to make a very good case for that.
All right. I appreciate it. I was going to say I'll give him some gold, but he doesn't have any use for that.
It's a pretty object.
Ooh, a shiny.
Shiny for your time.
I give him a polite bow, and I'll go ahead and walk off back to the group.
All right.
Well, it seems it doesn't sound terribly difficult to unite all of them to a singular goal, but at the same time, we have to go out and individually talk to each of them. It doesn't seem like there's one singular place that they have like ambassadors or anything like that.
No kidding.
Damn it.
There's no ambassador for the Wildland.
Well, you know, and I look at you, Tegan, and I look at myself, and I just kind of fucking look at you with a very wide glare.
I just thought it needed to be said.
Out of character, you and me are absolutely the ambassadors for our clans.
Does that make Drog the ambassador?
No.
Drog is the ambassador for his clan. Just like I represent the goblins of my clan, you represent your city, Drog represents the sun dude, Zarias represents the gods.
Calling it a city is generous.
Well,
Motherfucker.
Think farming town.
Motherfucker.
Oh.
Or just like forest nomads.
Alright, I'll think about it. No, I'm done thinking about it.
Okay, that's fair.
Uh,
All right, so
Yeah, let's go investigate that monster. Let's go find some traps.
Let's go do something. Let's make
We're
something
going to
of
get
this.
ourselves killed.
We don't have to fight it. We literally only need to just see what it's capable. We don't have to get involved in the slightest. Almost all of us here are really good
Except for Tegan.
stealthers and can turn ourselves invisible. Zarias is a high-level bard. He can cast invisibility on multiple people. We're fine.
As a heads up, you guys did go to the Maz Chill camp last session. And you did find out a little bit about the Atropol already.
Yes, we know of the Atropol, but we don't know.
Ironically, the person who knows the most is the person who's not
Didn't he
currently
tell
with
us
us.
like the only thing it's weak to
Well-
is bless skills or bless attacks?
Radiant.
Damage, whatever.
I don't know if he said it was weak to radiant, but it wasn't affected like by much except for radiant.
Yes, that was correct. If I recall correctly.
But what I'm saying is, I would like to go find its walking patterns, see what tracks it leaves, and see if it has a pattern to its movements. And that way we can set up in a place where it's likely to go, set up traps for it, and get ourselves in an advantageous position to get an ambush on it. Because that could be really useful against a very powerful creature, you know?
Didn't
And-
Drogskull say it flew or hovered?
I mean,
What sort of traps were you thinking? Because it's ghosts and a floating behemoth, we'll say. We're at.
alright, so the kind of traps I was thinking were Monster Hunter World kind of traps. You got me there. But I know for a fact we, as players, can also set up traps. You're a wizard. You have some spells that you can set. Zarias is a bard. I'm very sure he's got some really potent spells that he can prepare against it.
You see Farah in the background.
Okay.
Oh.
But not only that, but
Party.
we don't have a druid. However, I'm somewhat sure one of us can find some, like, using some kind of net or something like that, force it down to the ground. I know there's spells for that, but I don't know if there's like objects we can use. I can try and make one of them.
You see Farah in the background just jumping up and down, hand in the air.
I think I'll
Go ahead, Farah.
fucking great.
You're a part of the group, Farah. Go ahead, speak.
Well, actually, now that I think on it, she's just quietly flipping through all of the spells that she has in her spell book. I didn't quite think this one through, but if you're looking for invisibility, I can definitely manage that.
Well, we would need that for studying, and that is absolutely useful. In fact, another thing we can do is if we are not prepared for it now, we go somewhere else and prepare for it. I point to Tegan and Farah, like, you two can learn more spells by finding scrolls, right?
Yeah?
Yes.
We can prepare you better if we do that. We can go fetch some spells for both of you and make you more potent spellcasters.
Well, from what Akiba told me, is that if you try and cast a spell that you're not exactly have the potential for, it can cause problems.
Yes,
That's
but you
understandable, but like spells that you can do now. Because I'm sure I don't know much about arcane spells, but I'm sure there's spells you haven't learned yet, right?
So you don't have any use for my good invisibility spell, or no?
We do. If we need to go investigate it, absolutely, that'd be useful.
Well, it's even more useful because if you, do something, like if you cast a spell or if you attack something, you'll still stay invisible.
Tegan.
That's really useful, actually.
And I can. I have
We know it.
I have a whistle that allows me to fly very quickly, so I could be invisible with the whistle and scout it out very.
While also being very loud because whistle.
Well, there's no helping that. But they
You know
won't
what? You know what? I can cast silence on him.
I don't think that's something that's on someone.
Let me see the silence.
I think it's an area.
It's an area.
Okay. Because I think a DM allowed me to put it on an object and let it travel with the object. Centered on a point each. Yeah, you can't do that. Okay, so the DM was being nice to me. Alright, so point in effect. No, never mind. Yeah, let's just go try to find that creature for now. Let's go ahead and just investigate it for now.
Would Tensor's floating disc be an object that you can choose? Or a point that you can see?
What is that spell? Is that one of the ones that I gave to you?
No, it is not. But just out of curiosity, because it is a disc which has an area.
Well, first of all, I need to see if Tensor's disc is even visible to other creatures.
Hold on, I always thought this spell was useless. There might be a use for it.
It's a plane of force. Is force visible?
I don't think so. I wouldn't. I mean, is Wall of Force visible? I don't think.
I don't think Wall of Force is visible.
An invisible wall of force. It says specifically an invisible wall of force.
And this one just says the spell creates a circular horizontal plane of force.
The disc remains.
Well, you know what? I weigh so little, I can stand on it, so I would know it's there and can point at the space below. It would be up to DM's discretion to allow me to cast invisibility on it, and if he's flying in the air, he is still within the range of that silence spell, because it's 20. He'll be on the cusp of flying with silence. That's actually incredible. Would fucking work.
That's incredible. Tensor's floating disc is OP! Alright, I'm taking that spell.
Oh yeah, we're still preparing our shit. Sure, why not?
It's a ritual!
Oh yeah, well...
I don't even have to...
Yeah, you don't even have to prepare it, you just have it. Nice.
Alright, Tensor's floating disc is officially the best spell in 5th edition. Fact.
Anyways.
He's losing his goddamn mind over a spell that he thought was complete.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start using some survival checks to try and find this thing.
We're trying to give Drog some time to actually get here. It's been more than 30 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize on his behalf.
You know what? I'll look for some tracks on my own as well.
Okay.
So will I.
11.
Hey, can I make a survival check too?
Yes.
Or can I do investigation for looking for signs of destruction?
That would be more
19,
perception.
baby!
I mean, I'll take perception, no problem.
Yeah.
Hey, 13.
Okay. Mesmer, you're not really finding too much. I guess you're looking more for like physical tracks rather than just plain old destruction. Same thing with you, Tegan. You're not finding a whole hell of a lot. Sora, however, after traveling with the group for roughly 30 to 45 minutes, you come across, once again, the remains of the Masjil camp. It looks like they had a couple. It's not quite the same as the first one, but it is remains of a Masjil camp.
Ah. another camp. Let's see if there's anything we can find here.
Good eye, Sora.
Yeah, I was lucky to find this place. Let's look around and see what we can find.
So, destroyed camp is what we're looking at this
a
point.
different destroyed camp.
Glorious. Wholly distinct from the ones before.
But still, ripe with potential info.
Let's go loot some of the already fucked up places. Sure. Let's see if there's like any diaries or journals about what.
So we were.
Well, those are fucking warriors, and they wouldn't have those. No, they wouldn't.
So Sora's gonna start looking around the camp.
Yeah, let's try and find some signs of the creature, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead and make me either one with advantage or two separate investigation checks.
Let's do it.
I'm on doing an investigation.
Investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll do the one by myself then. I'll give myself guidance as well. It's probably not going to do much, but...
27.
Fuck!
I'm
Ouch.
getting my bad rolls out of the way.
Well, I got a 11.
Alright, Tegan, you're more fascinated with their way of living from what you can tell of what's still standing. It's definitely very strange, very new. So interesting. As for you, Sora, you're mostly finding the remains of the, more civilized aspect of it. You know, what remains of, like, sort of a smoke pit type of deal. You know, a few bits of dried meat in there, probably enough to make about 4 rations. So if you want to add those to your inventory, you can.
Oh. I will indeed.
And as for you, Mesmer, you find quite a bit of stuff. So along the way you find it's still early enough and it's definitely close enough to winter where you can definitely tell that it's fall, where it's close enough to start dropping down low enough temperature wise to actually show signs of frost. But this is straight up ice. A line of ice, kind of spanning about 30 or so feet before it kind of tapers off into water. And kind of sitting beside that is a handful of bodies in the same sort of decayed, almost drained state that you had come across in the first camp.
Huh. Hey, Draw, come over here. Just segue that fucker right in.
You there, Skull?
The smoothest segue that I could ever have heard in my life.
Smooth operator.
You know, if
Hey.
In any case, I'll...
check 2.
Hey, you're here.
Alright, there we go. I forgot to grab my headphones with the microphone in my rush to pack. What's happening? Please explain.
We decided to go ahead and chat a bit about what our game plan was, and we decided for helping out with you at least getting the whole of the clans under a singular goal. Not per se uniting them, but at least getting them to understand that our goal is a good one. And going ahead and investigating this monster to see what we can do against it for now. If it's not much, we're going to go find somewhere else and deal with it. Amass more spells, see if we can't investigate about what happened to Vox Machina, learn about the vestiges, the ones that Vox Machina found and the ones they never found. And if we can deal with it, we're going to try and set up traps for it. And we came up with a retarded way to get it out of the air if we can.
Please explain this manner grounding a stillborn deity.
So, I don't know how we're going to ground it per se, but we can get someone in the air to fight it silently and invisibly. Feyre casts greater invisibility on Tegan. Tegan uses his whistle to fly into the air, while he has a Tenzer's floating disc following him that I have casted silence.
I don't have the disc.
Don't have the disc.
I am not of the level to cast the disc. I believe I said that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No. I have not ever taken the disc. I was just like, hey, that might work.
Oh, Ceres has fly. That's absolutely miles better.
But it's not as bad.
It's still better than whistling loudly into the air.
We should.
Hey guys,
also,
how are you guys? Whistle.
It's never.
Should also probably avoid building up like a concentration trap. You don't want too many people concentrating on things, or else you're going to be kind of stuck when it comes down to dealing damage to it.
I also recommended possibly. Well, I'm actually thinking about this now. We actually should go to that place with the druids.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We have ways of grounding a flying creature.
Oh yes,
that
definitely.
Absolutely big. The
only issue is
should be our goal.
The only issue is the language barrier.
Oh, because they speak druidic only.
They don't like speaking other languages. They're also severely hostile towards literally everyone else. They're going to be the hardest ones to convince.
Yeah, also Skull and Mesmer, you would both know that they do speak common, however, it is very broken.
Yes.
They pretty much have the language skills of a toddler.
It's a medium audio.
Do they have the ability to understand common very well? Or is that also broken for them? I say, hi, how you doing today? And they're like, why did they say something about frozen pizza?
With your nat 20 and Skull, with your experience, you both know that they understand common very well. It's just speaking it is something that they don't do, so that in that aspect they have the language skills of a toddler.
So it's like the apes from Planet of the Apes.
Tegan
I don't know.
and Feyre, they're both utility casters. Do either of you have comprehend languages?
Negative.
Sarah does.
Sora has tongues. I know that for a fact. He can prepare it.
Cool. So, we have tongues for Sora, and we have comprehend
What?
languages for Feyre. However, not entirely sure we should let the child be the party face.
Oh, absolutely not.
Wait, what?
She can be the translator. We can put
Sora
tongues
can. You can't.
on.
Tongues is a self-cast.
All right. Well, there
Same
you go.
comprehend.
What?
So we have Sora who can communicate with them, and Feyre who has to say everything that they
I'm
are
confused.
saying.
What the fuck kind of spell is
No.
this?
Well, no, they can
so
understand
Sora,
common perfectly enough.
Listen. So Sora can speak. Sora, you have the spell in your spell list, tongues, that allows you to understand any language, and any language that you speak is also comprehended by every creature around. So you be a translator, and also so you would understand their druidic speak.
It's not coming up on the spell list of Roll20.
It's because Roll20 is Roll20 is absolutely borked.
Fuck. I'm gonna have to put it manually then.
Yeah.
I know you have it because my cleric has it.
The material component for tongues is a small clay model of a ziggurat.
Fuck.
That's a reference to the Tower of Babel.
We're gonna have to go back to the town and get some shit.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, there's a lot of things we need to do in several other places. I don't know why we're here.
We have We have a very long to-do list, and at the end of it is kill a god. So,
Yes.
you know, there's definitely a progression system.
One of the things on this list is find this god's phylactery.
Philanthropy.
All right, we're off topic. So, from what I heard after I joined, we see more of the single bodies.
So, well, yeah, we have found another decayed village, and I have just found with an investigation of 27 a area that is, with the morning dew, a singular path more or less completely frozen over, with more of those bodies that seem like their entire energy was sucked out of them, leaving them husks. I was going to go and have you and ask, since you're apparently more experienced with the creature, is freezing the ground an MO of said creature?
That would be a question to ask Star.
What was that?
Is freezing the ground an MO of the Atropol?
What did you? Yeah, what did you roll last time on your religion?
Really fucking good.
Yeah, I know it was really good, but for DC's sake.
DC. What would it have been? Religion?
It was religion. I know it was religion. I just can't remember what you rolled. Because
21.
21?
Yeah.
Okay,
Religion
so,
17 with a guidance of 4.
I found it.
Okay. So you rolled 21, which is more than enough. You would know that that is something that the Atropol can.
Yeah. Guys, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but in and out of character. This thing is borked. So yeah, he'll nod. So yeah, it's something we can do.
All right, then let's go ahead and follow it and just not get involved with it, but see what it does. So we have a better game plan of how we
I feel like
fix
we
the
should
problem.
sneak from here on out if we're getting close to this thing.
Drug emotions to his full plate.
I think we have a Chewinga that can cast hide in plain sight, so that's not the biggest issue.
Yeah, it's past without a trace, but
Did you
Feyre will go ahead and cast greater invisibility on you, Jugs.
My daughter is the best. Wait.
Oh, there's still
wait a
the
minute.
sound.
Wait a minute. Wait. What?
It turns it from a disadvantage roll into a base roll.
I have a question. Why don't we just make me fly and send me up to do it? Because I can smite it.
You weren't here when the plan was
grounding
made.
it.
True.
We need to get it grounded, and we need to keep it on the ground. That's why I suggested finding some allies with druidic abilities. That druid clan would be an amazing group to do this, but we need to at least get everyone allied first before we do that. I'm thinking that getting the whole group allied against this one creature and getting a game plan going would be an effective way of getting this monster taken care of.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. So, I think that instead of following it, first we need to do that.
Well, that's my thinking. If we actually investigate it, we come up with a plan. We go to the clans with those plans and be like, "Hey, if you put your involvement in this plan, it's a very good chance we can kill it and get it out of your hair." We're not just coming with them with, "Oh, we could possibly deal with it." We're coming up with, "Hey, here's our plan. Do you want to be involved, or do you want this to continue to plague you?"
The only clan that's going to matter to is the druids. The kobolds will join us if we said we could protect them, and the mercenaries will join us only if we pay.
I'm not paying for those bitches.
Not paying.
Mm.
If they want that blight on their land gotten rid of, they need to get involved.
They don't care about the land. They're nomadic. They can just move. The others are more grounded here, especially the druids.
Well, then we don't need them.
We do. They're worth their rate.
Well, then you
Then
you
you
pay
pay
them.
them.
Am I gonna have to be poor again because you guys are
Motherfucker,
Damn.
this is your idea. You're paying for them.
Yeah, your idea.
Mean that the two richest people here are refusing to pay.
No, that's
Okay.
Tegan and you.
Well, the richest person here is refusing to pay.
And I didn't know we were in America. That's crazy.
I'll beat your ass.
All right.
Getting all the poor people to fight each other to remind them that the rich people are taking advantage.
Anyway. All right.
I say we go continue to investigate this creature, come up with a and then we start dealing with all the other clans, coming forth with a plan and trying to get their help in involved.
I don't like this idea. Not because it's your idea, because I think it's dumb. That's not the case. I don't like it. There's too much of a risk of getting caught in a situation we can't escape.
Well, we're already in a
we're not gonna get into that. Yeah, we're dealing with that.
We're gonna die if we don't do this anyway. So.
Well,
and in this situation, Vecna knows our movements and he knows what we're going to do. This creature has zero knowledge of us. It has. We can move about if we stay quiet and stealthy, and we'll never know we were around. We can gather information, figure out its movements, and then we go to the clans and be like, hey, we're gonna help. And not only that, but we've already scouted ahead. They're not going to be like, well, what can you provide? They're going to be like, oh, yeah, you know your shit. You know what's going on. You can help us.
Still don't like the idea.
If you don't like the plan, then what are you thinking?
I don't think we should go into this by ourselves. At the very least, I think that we at least gather the kobolds and talk to the mercenaries, because they're going to be the two easiest to convince. If we show that we have already gathered some, it'll make the druids easier to talk to, and it would also give us boosted manpower for tracking and hunting.
We're just gonna fucking observe it from a distance.
Well, that could easily turn into a fight if we're not careful, and even if we are careful, we're talking about we're talking about a stillborn baby. This thing is incredibly powerful, way beyond anything we've ever fought before and succeeded in defeating. We don't want to go into this by ourselves, even into a scouting. I don't think it's a good idea to risk that.
Fine. Then let's just leave. Once we feel more equipped for the situation, we'll come back to it.
That's the other issue. If we leave, there's a good chance they all die. But if we stay, there's less of a chance, but there's also a chance.
Well, why would they die? It's such a big, powerful creature. They obviously know to stay away from it because it's so big and powerful. They're as knowledgeable as you are, right?
I only know what I know from studying with Mother.
Oh, and you know what? If we study it further, we can come with knowledge that would help us deal with the fucking thing.
I was given knowledge on how to deal with it.
All right, let me ask you. 500 feet away from it, what can it do? If it's as big as you're saying it is, it's going to be spottable from that distance. We can study its movements and figure out what all it can do as it travels and does its thing. How problematic can that be?
Well, let's see. 500 feet. Why 500 feet?
Out of character, most things cap at 150 feet. 500 feet is absolutely impossible for most things.
Well, I'm asking why you specifying 500 feet for observation. I don't think we can really see much from 500 feet away.
So not if we don't have scopes like Mesmer does.
Binoculars.
Well, it's a spyglass, and Mesmer does in fact have a spyglass.
That's about all of us.
We only need the one. If somebody wants to see, give it to them. Easy.
Possibly to the two people that have the highest perception.
Let's see. For 500 feet, there's nothing we can do, but there's also nothing we can do if it decides to come after us. We could run for sure, but I'm positive it can chase us down quickly. If it comes to a fight, send undead, they're likely vulnerable to radiant damage. So less smites, divine judgment, anything Tegan or Sora may have in her arsenal would also be good. I believe Feyre can also use guiding bolt. As for against its own abilities, Jorian likes to has an affinity for freezing, but it also, from if I recall correctly, is very apt at raising dead. And they're quite powerful undead at that. We don't want to get caught with them.
We've got 2 clerics here that can turn undead. Any small armies we find, we can disperse enough of them that we can deal with the small units at that point.
They're not weak undead. These are powerful.
It doesn't matter what kind of undead, we can still get them out of our fate.
That fails, so we've wasted resources. We should be more careful about it. And while scouting is a part of being careful, we also have to recognize that scouting itself poses danger.
Then let's not do it. If it's that big of an issue for you, then let's just not do it.
Mesmer, what is your passive perception?
More than 9.
The Atropol's right behind.
No. So as you two, you and Drugskull are having this discussion, you feel a kind of a slight tug that turns into something that's a little bit more sharp.
Shit.
Bag.
Shit. God damn it, T.
Not the bag of holding, but your bag.
Tegan, you had to open your mouth.
Okay, I turn around and see what the fuck is going on.
You see Selena trying to pull out the fucking spyglass.
Okay, I don't know if I ever made it. That is the scope of divine judgment now.
Yeah, that's fine.
You would have to steal the whole damn gun.
Yeah,
and that is in my backpack. My haversack.
Yeah, she's attempting to.
I mean, she'd have to go into the damn haversack.
She's attempting to.
Pro noobs, I'll do it. I'll try to steal it.
She can only pull out an object if she knows that it's there, if I recall correctly. Or am I thinking of a bag of holding?
I'll look up the item. Andy Haversack. Andy Haversack. That's what it's called, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, handy haversack.
Yeah.
Or Hewer's
Yeah.
handy haversack if you want to.
The haversack has a few limitations.
It's basically like a bag of holding. She'd just have to know to look for the divine judgment, which I don't know if she knows exactly what it looks like.
I mean, she doesn't know exactly what it looks like, but she's
she knows its
aware of
existence.
its presence, which is more than enough.
Okay, then I would stop anyone going into my bag and immediately just kind of wheeling around.
Can I?
And I see her doing it, and I'm like, what did you need that you just didn't want to?
Sorry, can I try attempting to steal it while they're talking?
You can roll me a
At this point,
sleight
it's
of
a
hand
perception.
check.
At this point, because I've just gotten stolen from, this would be an action perception for
However,
me.
you want. Oh, back.
Yes. So it would be Mesmer's
Ow.
perception versus your
Can I give
sleight
myself
of hand.
guidance?
It still would use the. You would cast a spell, meaning I might be able to hear that.
Fuck. Alright. Here we go, baby. Fuck!
Yeah, I see that, and I just bang your
But
fuck off! Stop trying to steal from me!
well, if the two of you are going to argue like idiots, perhaps I should do it myself.
So you agree with me?
I don't agree with
We're
either of
talking
you.
around in circles for the last 10 minutes. I feel like we should just do it.
Well, we're not the only ones here. Do any of you have any fucking objections to this fucking plan?
Let's do it.
Let me go in and do it.
I'll go with her just in case something happens.
Selena, we're a group. We do this together, okay?
Mesmer, I will not let you be killed.
There's a point.
I'm not gonna die.
And I didn't think I was going to either, but I did.
As the Mesmer says that, Drug mutters the words, famous last words under his breath in Draconic.
Selena will flip you off.
You know I'm right.
Let me do it if you guys can't agree. I'm good at sight and I can sneak.
I think most of us can do that.
And I have magical ways of bailing myself out. We don't know what I can do now.
This is a good chance to explore your new abilities, but be careful.
Of course.
I think that there's also a grain of genius in only sending one person, especially one as stealthy as Selena. It's likely to be caught.
With your permission, I would like to go with you.
Wow! This is an even worse plan. A singular person gets caught. We have no idea what will happen to them. And she's saying she can use magical ways to get herself out. What if her new magic, she doesn't fully have use of it, and she just gets fucked even harder?
How about
We're relying on the randomness on this.
There's a lot of what ifs being thrown around out here.
Yeah.
I'd say we definitely don't just leave this to chance.
Yeah.
I'll go with her.
500 feet. No way it will ever see us if we remain stealthy. Point in fact, can't hear us from 500 feet. If we're invisible, no way for it to see us either. We'll be fine.
This is even though it's dead, it's still somewhat divine. Even if it's a horrid kind of just gesture with his hand, trying to find the word.
Do any of its sights reach up to 500 feet?
I don't know how it's perceiving. I only know what hurts it. And what doesn't hurt it.
That's why I like to go study, to see what it can be capable of.
Towards what it's capable of.
Alright, if neither of you can make a decision, I will go on my own, and there is nothing either of you can do to stop.
You are
Now
correct.
is not the time for petty arguments. Let's make a decision and move.
We're not having a petty argument. We're trying to figure out what is the least likely to get us killed.
You guys have been going back and forth for the last I don't know how long trying to figure it out.
There doesn't seem to be an easy solution, and as such, I say we leave and perhaps come back.
I'm okay with that decision.
The people here may be shattered, but they will still be alive, and perhaps even come out of it stronger than ever before. Perhaps together, even. None of that sounds like a bad thing. Haven had its fair share of troubles before, but we always came through.
Deacon, you've seen how stubborn I am, correct?
Selena attempts to sneak away.
Even Drug sees that. He's like, "What are you? Get back here!"
I'll try to.
You've seen how stubborn I am.
All right. Everyone.
Yes. Wait,
everyone.
Let me finish. Now imagine that, but there's a whole clan of me, and there are more than one clan of them. Now imagine trying to get those people to work together under even the most dire of circumstances.
Well, then it seems like a mistake to try and get them together in the first place to help us. If they can't work together, then how are they going to work with us, Drog?
They can't work together by themselves without assistance.
The trail slayer.
But if we come forth As someone who has left and returned, I hold some voice, as you saw with both the cult, with my own, the Sunclaw. I do hold some authority, just due to respect, but it's important that we show an already unified front. I still think that the best idea here is we go to the kobolds at least, and we try with the mercenaries.
Here, easy way to do this. Everyone, throw your opinion in. Let's have a vote. Feyre, Agni, and she kind of kind of look when she points at Agni. Feyre, Agni, Selena. Let's just pool our ideas. What do we want to do? I vote we leave, get some more tools, become more proficient, and become more powerful, and come deal with this. Drog.
For either the two clans we know will go. For the two clans we know will come. Try the druids.
Tegan.
Let's go.
I say we go out and try to find a solution to our bigger problem, and along the way, once we get stronger doing that, we can come back and deal with this.
Zarias. He's asleep. Feyre.
Well, I don't think it's a good idea to leave these people by themselves, but I also don't think it's a good idea for us to go and fight.
Agni.
To leave one to suffer is not a good idea, but we are not strong enough to face this.
I think that's literally just all of us split in half, so that didn't help anything. Zarias is just ready to kill. There's no question from him.
I think that splits the tie.
Well, there wasn't any tie. It was multiple people
Half and
wanting to do
half.
separate things.
Well, multiple.
Okay. Well, I'm not even saying go or fight. I'm saying there was multiple opinions of differing deals.
Okay, I misunderstood what you said then.
No, I wasn't saying half-half. I was just saying literally everyone wants to do something different. All right.
But I don't want to do it. That's true.
Okay.
That's just by ourselves.
Let's go to the kobolds. Sure. Let's just go to the kobolds, see what they say. If they are not on board, if they for some reason think that we're out of our minds, this place isn't worth it. Let's go do something else.
Trump kind of muttered to himself and just talk about this place isn't worth it.
I don't need to understand the
I see you grumbling. Yeah, I see you grumbling. I'm like, well, what the fuck do you want? These people aren't going to be willing to help us. And if that's the case, then why the fuck are we here? We have to defeat Vecna. If they are not willing to help, then what the fuck do we do here?
Part of defeating him is being the byproducts of his arrival. If we let these things roam as they will while we try to get stronger, it won't help our case. They'll just grow stronger while we attempt.
This is not our problem. Why do we need to deal with this? If this is their struggle and their problem, they don't want to help us, why the fuck are we here trying to deal with it?
Your mother wasn't my problem. Your mother wasn't my problem. But regardless, I agreed to help you. I didn't object to you rescuing your mother.
Oh, shit.
Don't object to me rescuing my people.
Rescuing his mother was a completely different undertaking altogether, and we were prepared for it. We are not at all prepared for this.
We're not prepared for half the things we find ourselves getting into.
No, actually, I find that most of the time when we go into things, we are actually quite prepared. There are some times when we've been caught off guard, yes, but other than that, we usually have a good plan. This is not a good plan. We are, in a sense, trying to get people together that don't want to be together, and, as you say, are as hard-headed as you and won't want to work together.
I go to Zarias and the cart, and and I'll just fucking go ahead and suit him up. Everyone in the fucking court, we're gonna go see some kobolds. If they're not willing, we're leaving. Got it, Drog?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Alright, and we are going to go ahead and take a small pause on you guys and switch over to Sora.
You silly
Snuck
fucks.
away from the party.
You dumb fuck.
So just Sora, as a heads up, are they going to be able to see our discussion in the DMs or no?
I could certainly just change the view.
I mean, you guys can go off in the
They
game
can't,
room.
that's
I
fine.
will. They normally can't, but I can just take a screenshot and put it in the video.
No, what I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna give a brief summary over
Okay.
in the game room. So I'm gonna switch
Yeah,
over.
if you guys switch over to the game room, you can.
Okay, so for our lovely viewers, just as a heads up, there was a bit of a discussion in DMs between Sora and I. So essentially, that roll that he made after he snuck away was a survival check to see if he could keep following the trail, which he rolled a natural 20, which was really awesome. So the trail continued to go along, ending after about 60 feet, ending off with the water. But with that natural 20, Sora managed to continue to find small pieces of dead body parts alongside signs of wraiths. And as he continued to go along, he heard a loud wail being carried along the wind. Which at this point, by the time it reaches you, it's actually relatively quiet.
Oh shit.
So go ahead and make me a perception check. See if you can figure out where it's coming.
Perception.
Yeah.
Oh.
19? Alright, so with a 19, you manage to determine that it is coming towards probably a little bit north of you, more like a northwesternly direction. And this actually will lead you on to the next map, if you go in that direction. Okay, so let me go ahead and move you onto that map.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So am I going up to the top of the map?
No, actually place yourself along the bottom of the map.
So right here.
Yep, that's a great place to put yourself. It's actually perfect. So as you go ahead and you travel along, make your way closer, there are a couple of more whales that come through, and they're definitely a lot more louder, excuse me, as you make your way along. And as you kind of get to the bottom of the map, go ahead and make me another perception check, please.
Word.
Much lower DC. Okay, 24.
Oh no. I feel proud of myself for that one.
You should be proud of yourself, man. You managed to sneak away from the group, and you rolled really well.
Well, this is drawing.
So, that is what you see. You see the Atropal floating up at about 50 feet in the air, surrounded by 3 wraiths.
Fuck.
Map isn't entirely to scale, so there is a bit more distance between you guys, or at least in this case. So I would probably about triple the distance. You can definitely tell that these are wraiths, but based off of your time in Vasselheim, But it is difficult to see much more than that, even with your high roll. And the wailing is definitely really loud here.
All right. Is there anything else nearby? Most likely these trees right here.
There is the trees here. With that perception roll, you can actually kind of see a little bit off in the distance and kind of the direction that they're going, which is kind of like this way. You can see kind of a campfire. So it looks like they're going towards some sort of camp. You're not 100% sure as to what camp. You don't know the area well enough. But they are definitely headed towards some sort of camp or encampment of some kind. Yeah, they don't know you're there.
Word. Sora is just gonna make look around, see what he can find, and then if there's nothing that he can find, he'll just go back to the group.
Okay, so as you kind of continue to watch these things sort of float along, it's moving at about 50-ish feet or so every now and then, just kind of mostly hovering there. Then kind of sort of shuttling itself like 50 feet forward and then kind of pausing for a moment, then doing so again. You're just about to kind of decide that there's not really much worth seeing when you see another blast of ice just sort of shoot out, let's roll it back out. Another blast of ice just sort of scatter along the rock and kind of go past, and it moves out from what you can see about 120 feet before it kind of just trickles off into just a light frost.
Well, I guess that's my cue to go, so Sora's gonna turn around and get back to the group.
Yeah, no, it's not towards you, it's kind of going towards the camp.
I see the attack and decide not to fuck with it just yet. We are going to turn around in the other direction and go back to the group.
Okay. Alright, so I'll go ahead and move us back.
Can't avoid attacks very well, so just do spell attacks.
Spaper just flew right past you all.
Yeah, you found it, didn't you, Spaper?
I don't think we've established that you found me yet, but give me a second.
I think you just said he flew right past us.
So we're on our way to the kobolds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Sora. Nobody's noticed Sora's gone.
Nobody noticed, and yet when you look back on this and then you leave Sora to die, just know that you will be met with a very pissed off Sora if Sora is dead by the time you die.
I mean, you snuck off.
You snuck off.
Yeah, so it's absolutely your fault. Hey, Sora, what do you... Sora's gone.
What?
Truck turns around and looks in the back of the cart.
Why would he leave?
You are short a Sora.
God fucking damn it.
Well, at least
people want to go investigate.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
Why?
Fucking idiot. I don't know if I can tell him how to kill the goddamn thing. It's clerics.
I feel very proud of that.
Yeah.
Out of character, I'm extremely proud of you. If it ain't character, I feel like Angie.
So have you guys stopped?
I assume Drug seeing that Sora is no longer with them. It's like, all right, starts turning the cart around.
Why? He knows how to find us. He can literally spy on us. He can find us where to go.
He's gonna get himself killed.
He is the second quietest person in this group. He's fine.
Yeah, Tegan.
I would...
The Drug is gonna just kind of turn the cart around, Just gonna head back to where the
There are
ice.
two people in this fucking seat, motherfucker. You have to also wrestle my goddamn.
Do you want to go strength?
You're gonna lose that fucking fight.
You want to have your fucking overheated? Take that 10 minutes to take that fucker off?
Don't
I
make me
guarantee it,
decapitate.
it's gonna be disadvantaged to fucking deal with me.
Don't make me decapitate you like I did Cormac.
I forgot you did
Good
that.
luck fucking catching me, buddy.
So
35 made of movement and disengage as a bonus action. Eat my shit.
Hey, Mesmer. Do you know what feat I took for 8th level? Sentinel.
Disengage.
Does not work against Sentinel.
Sentinel says fuck you to rogues and really anybody.
Anyways.
Yeah, Drug is like, alright, time to turn the card around and go make sure our fucking cleric doesn't die.
You straight up, Mesmer just says, no, he can find us. He's fine. He's literally the most able-bodied of all of us, and he can keep himself alive, the best of all of us.
And he
Drug
made
is-
this decision on his own.
Yeah,
He
that's
did
his
not-
fault.
I don't feel comfortable leaving him to die.
I don't feel comfortable being here at all, but you know.
We're
We
here
all make-
anyway.
as stated repeatedly, he doesn't like being here either. Saying that out of character.
Look, we all made the plan. We're gonna go see the kobolds. If we're gonna bail on that, then as soon as we grab Sora, we're fucking leaving. Understand?
First of all, don't talk to me like a child.
I
Second
have
of
to
all-
if you're not gonna see reason.
Drug just sighs deeply. He looks at her. I would expect better from you, seeing how you felt when you felt I left Selena to die. Now I understand it's not a similar situation, or it's not remotely the same connection. But despite how I may act, how stubborn I may be, and how cruel I might seem, I don't feel comfortable leaving him to die like that.
There is a small pop coming from behind you two.
Drug looks.
Selena is poof.
That's my god.
Drug looks.
I
Drug
remember
starts-
this.
Drug
Do
just
you
starts
remember
cursing.
when this? Do you remember when this happened? Whenever we first all got together, Selena would disappear all the time.
I don't.
Yeah, I would too. And you know what? We all found our way back together again. What a fucking world that we're able to find each other. Because we have ways of doing that. And we are capable of taking care of ourselves. Are you discounting Sora's ability to keep himself safe? Are you saying Sora's weak? Are you saying he needs our help always?
Not always, but
Then
been facing.
trust him. He has a plan. He can deal with himself.
Meanwhile, Sora, Selena appears next to you on your way back.
Ah. So you decided to break away from the group as well.
They were arguing again.
As I assume they would have been throughout the entire time I was probably gone. However, I did see our monster, and I am with agreement that we are not ready for this monster yet. He was heading
Why is that?
northwest or north in that direction, and he decided to let off an attack on a direction that wasn't mine, luckily. But given the rough look I got on him, but doesn't look like we are going to have an easy fight with him.
I see.
It's better to just check and make sure that this is actual the way we want to go before we actively just assume things. And you know as well as I do, they wouldn't have
Of course.
actually agreed to anything.
Who's they?
They!
Drog and Mesmer.
Yes, it's absolutely referring to us.
Either way, they're arguing again on whether or not to come back and look for you. And I got so sick of listening to them argue. I somehow ended up here.
Well, despite what they may say, I believe their heart's in the right place. Come on, let's get back.
I mean, of course, their heart's in the right place, but their minds are a bit off, I guess.
It's what this makes this group unique.
Too unique,
Come
unfortunately.
on, let's go.
She'll follow along.
And then try to find a way.
Meanwhile, make a survival check.
Whom?
Sora.
Alright, let's...
Try and see if he can make his way back.
Fuck!
Guess who has the ability to fly on people, regardless? So he would know.
You want to
where
waste
go.
a 5th level spell slot.
In a day where we're not gonna fight anything.
Oh, thank God.
Hey! Selena, trying to sort of see you going in the slightest off direction, will kind of like... It will give you a look and just sort of pull you along behind her. As the two of you make your way back to the group. But the moment Selena sort of puts her hand on you, you feel this comforting warmth that is definitely very familiar to you. You have felt it several times before.
Ah. So we'll just, we'll be lost in thought for a little bit, for a minute, and then pull himself back to reality.
Okay.
Gravity, yeah?
But,
I thought this game was PG-13.
Look, it's not like...
we say fuck too many times for it to be PG-13.
And it's not like we didn't have a joke where Tegan was being fisted by Mesmer, so I don't want to hear it.
Those are test fucks for our real fuck that we drop. We're just trying to test the waters.
So yeah, you and Selena managed to make your way back to the group. Meanwhile, the group.
Hi!
Drog is in the process of
Okay, so Drog.
my Sora should not be left behind.
Disagree with me that a hot dog is not a fucking sandwich, right?
A hot dog is a taco, and you know that's the truth.
Are you fucking serious?
Well, it's glad to see that we've stopped arguing about the monster and started arguing about something a little bit more lighthearted.
Look at Drog. Look at that. Look who found his fucking way back.
Sora, did you find your way back on your own?
For the most part, I found my way back. Selena helped me find my last few steps back, but overall, it was
Bullshit. You were going in the opposite direction.
Thank you, Selena.
Selena, I'm fairly positive we were supposed to have his back there, because now... And he head bobs over to Drog.
Anyway.
Take it away!
Point being, I found the monster.
Drog just... What do you think? Was I correct in my estimation of how absurdly...
There was no doubt in my mind that this thing is uber powerful. However, given how we are now, I would advise that we would come back a little bit more prepared. Whether that go...
Perhaps with reinforcements.
Maybe. I'm not too knowledgeable of this monster to make that call. All I know is we are not ready now.
Well, I can share with you what I know of its strengths and weaknesses.
So are we going to the kobolds, or are we not?
Get in the cart.
Well, what direction did you say it was going again, Sora? Northwest?
Northwest in that general direction.
Which direction are the kobolds star?
Northwest.
God. Frog looks at Sora and looks at Selena and says, get on the cart.
So quick question,
Get in the cart. Sora,
quick question, Drog. Where are we going?
Sora, Drog just gives him a look.
Answer my question, Drog.
You know where we're going.
Point proven. Anyway, so that means all of the arguing was meaningless, so continue on.
Get in the cart. Get in the
Just,
cart.
just to let you know.
We're going quickly. That's where we're going.
So we're looking in the car.
Come on.
Maybe a perception check.
Whom?
Anyone who wishes to.
Dude. Oh, man. Oh, hey.
I am just killing it on these perception checks.
Hey, Tegan, both of us got 3s. Nice.
Nice.
So Drugskull and Sora. The two of you hear wailing on the wind.
Oh no.
The drug says, "Is Selena in the cart?"
Yeah, Selena's in the cart.
And the drug is cracking the reins. It's time to go. He's heading off towards the vault.
Well, I know.
Cobalt time.
How
Wait, what?
how fast can the cart move around?
Depends on how many horses are pulling it, I think.
There were 3 or 4.
Three. 3. What are Brisbane and the other one?
Sylvester, we're
Sylvester.
basically going at a normal pace for horses because we've got a surplus of people.
So
You're also
how
going to pull
much
by a
is
war
that?
horse, though. Because I believe the summon seat.
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't want to do all the fucking math.
60 feet for a war horse. What are Brisbane and Sylvester?
Riding horses.
Alright.
They're not drafting horses, so we got riding horses to draft horse stuff.
That's 180 feet combined.
180 feet combined.
Without dashing.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off probably about 40 due to the surplus of people and just the weight of the cart.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be still 140 without dashing.
And if we're dashing, that's 280.
Yes.
Which drug is cracking the reins. It's time to go.
So you're gonna be dashing.
Dashing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's like...
Trying to avoid the afterfall.
Alright, shit, we're just not making this quiet, are we?
If we get caught by this fucking monster, I'm going to blame you.
You blame me all you want.
Okay. So
Blame you every day!
go ahead and place yourselves kind of over by
Ya boy.
Sora.
We're dead.
And what I'm going to do is once everyone is here on the map, I am going to go ahead and call for a small break so I can do one thing real quick, and then we'll jump into.
We're fighting the monster.
What are
After all this arguing, we're fighting the monster.
This is what you guys get for fighting so much.
Well, for being an internal loop for about 10 minutes or half an hour in real life.
In defense, it's the reasonable thing
It's a
to
reasonable
argue.
thing, but when you're arguing 30 minutes and
10
whatever,
and 30.
you're...
Hold on,
Yeah.
Star, you know what I gotta do.
Yes. What?
You know what I gotta do.
What?
You know what's about to happen.
He
No,
keeps
I
doing
don't.
this motherfucker.
Trog, we've fucking been over this. Hey,
you're
guess what?
Fucking.
No, guess. I don't know. What? Come on, guess. Shut the fuck up and tell me already.
So that's everyone but Tegan. Tegan's not at his keyboard at the moment, so we're gonna take a small.
Wait, I'm here.
Yeah, just go ahead and place yourself on the map, Tegan, by everyone else, and then. First of all, move yourself on the correct map.
I'm doing it.
I know. And then just go ahead and place yourself next to everyone. And then I will go ahead and take a small break. I gotta go run upstairs and do something real quick. And do not put initiative tracker on. I will go ahead and be right back, guys.
The arguing ends. Hey, Star. Hey.
All right.